Good evening. In the last episode of 5 Minutes, we covered the controversial Senate election in great detail, providing excellent background and analysis on the subject. However, according to our horrifying viewership of 18 people, our budget has been slightly reduced. I now turn our program over to producer Molly Casey, the sole remaining staff member, for results analysis. Now, please excuse me, I have 5 minutes before I'm locked out of the building.
Welcome to 3 Minutes. In our last episode, we predicted that Claire McCaskill would win by a 3.1% margin. It turns out that we, along with many others, were way off. Claire McCaskill ended up winning with 54.7% of the vote, a 15.5% margin. This means that our prediction was off by a margin of 12.4%. So what did we miss? We already knew that Todd Akin's comments had completely altered the political landscape. Mitt Romney won in Missouri, as predicted, with 53.9% of the vote. Voters were clearly dissatisfied with Democratic leadership, and yet they re-elected their Democratic senator. This is consistent with several other Senate elections where Tea Party-backed conservative candidates won in the Republican primary and lost in the general election to Democrats. In Todd Akin's case, this is directly linked to comments that he made on August 19th.
It seems to me, what I understand from doctors is that's really rare. In a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to shut that whole thing down.
In political campaigns, there are several factors that can affect the outcome of an election. For instance, there are short-term factors, things that candidates can control during the election cycle, like Todd Akin's choice of words in his interview. But there are also medium-term factors, things that are outside the candidate's control, like Hurricane Sandy in the presidential election, or the virulent and instantaneous backlash to Todd Akin's comments. His poll numbers plummeted, and Claire McCaskill immediately moved to strike. Her incumbency advantage had already guaranteed her a significant amount of campaign funding, and after Todd Akin's comments, contributions poured in from around the country. McCaskill put the money to good use, running ads that became more and more devastating in the lead up to the election. This included ads where rape survivors stated that although they were pro-life conservative Republicans, they could not, in good conscience, vote for Todd Akin after his comments. No matter how hard Todd Akin tried to revive his campaign, he was never able to regain his lead in the polls. In the context of the national election, abortion was always going to be a huge issue. In a poll, 39% of American women stated that abortion was their #1 consideration in choosing who to vote for in the presidential election. And clearly, this extended to the Missouri Senate race as well. But if Todd Akin hadn't explained his views so bluntly, it seems likely that he would have won the Senate campaign. So, it appears to us here at 3 Minutes that when Republican candidates make controversial and unpopular comments about rape, the electorate has a way to shut that whole, hey, I wasn't done here.